All right. Welcome back, students. I know it's been a minute. I took a little hiatus, but back at it with the videos, back at it with the lessons. Here we are again, the Dropout Professor. Welcome to the channel, my lovely students of life. If you've been subscribed, I appreciate you. If you haven't, please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment with what you want to hear me talk about next time. But this time, we're going to be doing a little thought experiment, a little what if. It's less of a lesson and more of a encouragement for reflection and, just putting it out there. So, what would you do if everything was free? Now, before you go and call me crazy communist, socialist, whatever, for even suggesting this, just take a moment, think about, what you do with your time. What would you do with your time if bills weren't a thing? If the lights just stayed on, the water just ran, everything was just, you didn't have to worry about rent, you didn't have to worry about, oh, what's gonna happen, my debt, my bills, this and that. No, just shut all that out. What would you do with your time if everything was free? Now, I know people who work in advertising are just like melting down, but that's okay. Think about it, because we live in an abundant world. We live in a world where there isn't more than enough for everybody. It's not being shared equitably. It's not being distributed in a way where it's like everything is free. But we live in a world where there's enough, more than, for everyone to have a house, everyone to have a nice bed to sleep in. We have enough stuff. What would you do with your time if everything was free? And I'm not talking about provided by the state. I'm not talking about government funded, this or that. I just mean it's free. Would you go and loot? Just create, like, punching people? Give me that. Or are you gonna just take it easy? Oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get a loaf of bread and some eggs, and oh, my family's getting bigger. I'm gonna get a bigger house, and it's not a little. Think about it. Would you just stay in bed all day, scrolling TikTok? If you never had to work, if you never had to do it, would you paint a picture? Would you read more books? What is it that lights you up? What is it that really brings you satisfaction and fulfillment? And are you going to go out and meet new people? Spend more time with the family? Or are you just going to spend all your time like, oh, everything's free. Let me collect as much as I can. Are you going to just go hog wild and start, shooting stuff in your arm and whatever, because you don't got to worry about bills? I'll just get zonked out on whatever, popping pills. Or are you, gonna like, oh, I don't have to worry, I don't have to stress about where's my next meal gonna come from, I can just take it easy. What are you gonna do if everything was free? It's and I know logistically you're like, well, how is that possible? I can't do that, this and that, no electricity and the wires and the this and that, the maintenance of the cars and there are people that like doing stuff like that. There are people that like working on cars. There are people that like building houses. Now, that's not to say that stuff's not hard. That's not to say that stuff's not worthy of compensation. But if everything is free, we have the technology for self-driving cars. We have the technology for stuff that, Elon Musk just rolled out these bartender robots. We can make robots to do the stuff we don't want to do. We just don't do that. We make robots to do the stuff that we want to do. God knows why. But anyway, some of the logistics, like gas. Nobody wants to, work on a oil driller out in the middle of the ocean, be away from their family. That's not something a human being has to do. It's not. And also, as far as gas goes, back in the 1930s, Nikola Tesla had designs for how we could have free wireless energy, and we just don't do that. That's not impossible. That's just not what we do. How about food? Where's the food gonna come from? Where's the farmers? Some people like gardening. Some people just enjoy working in the dirt, and God bless them. I would love to get into that more. I don't have any land, so I can't really do that where I live, but I'm hoping that we're moving more in that direction where I can explore that as a possibility more. But so much of our food right now is not even really food, man. So much of it is chemicals and just lab grown this and that, and that ain't even really food. So if that just didn't exist, oh no, we're all healthier. That's not the worst thing that could happen. As for crime, who's gonna stop the people from this and that? Who's gonna be doing the crime? How are you gonna rob people if everything's free? How are you gonna go out of your way to hurt people if everything is free? I'm gonna read you a little Bible verse, and I know, the Bible, but bear with me. I know I struggled with faith and stuff for a long time, so you can watch my testimony video if that's something that you struggle with. I hope it helps. But this is Amos 8, 4-6. Listen to this, you who rob the poor and trample down the needy. You can't wait for the Sabbath day to be over and the religious festivals to end so you can get back to cheating the helpless. You measure out grain with dishonest measures and cheat the buyer with dishonest scales. And you mix the grain you sell with chaff swept from the floor. And then you enslave poor people for one piece of silver or a pair of sandals. That's crime. That's criminal. Now, who's going to be cooking meth? Struggling to, not blow themselves up in a world where all this stuff is free. Why would you be bothering to make a thing like that? If this is something we hate doing, that we're just like, ugh, what a slog, we could just design technology to do those things, to just take care of those tasks that no one wants to bother with. What about death? And who's going to handle this? This is probably the trickiest one. Because ultimately, nobody, well, I'm not going to say nobody, but most people don't want to work around dead bodies. I certainly don't. But there are some people out there that would just not be bothered. Oh, it's a dead body. We're going to put it in a box, put it in the ground. We've all got our weird interests. The industries of funeral services and caskets and crematories and burial plots, a lot of these stuff, why does it cost so much? We don't need to cost so much. They don't need it to be velvet lined and gold plated, and they're going in the ground. It's not going to benefit them if it's comfy. So, I hope this has been thought-provoking, if nothing else. But, yeah, please like, share, subscribe to the video. I'm the Dropout Professor, Alex Wilson. I hope you've had a lovely time, and I'll catch you on the next lesson.